Hello, everybody. It is Jordan Yates, and today I'm here with Rick Perez, the CEO of Zeus Power Supplies. Rick, say hello to everyone.
Hey everybody, how you doing? And hello Jordan, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited to be here. Rick and I have been trying to get this thing on the books for a while, keep missing each other, but now it is time that we get to tell you guys from his perspective how Zeus came to be, what it is they do, and their position in the market. Rick, are you excited to talk about this?
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, let's get started with a little bit of backstory because Zeus just kind of popped up out of nowhere not too long ago. I've been posting them all over my LinkedIn. Their LinkedIn's been going crazy. And I think people are wondering, Rick, what is the story behind Zeus? How did it come to be?
Yeah, great question. Well, what happened was, we've been in the business of recycling for, over 30 years, and we're building big mega plants. And one of the major issues we thought about was an afterthought. It was the power, right? We thought it was just something you just get and easily available. Well, it turns out it wasn't. And so after we sold the majority of our company, I always looked at, and my partners and I and our team looked at where the inefficiencies in power were. And what we decided is we know that there's an issue, especially finding timelines that work within the time frame that people need, transformers and hardware, and that's what we've been focusing on. So we've been, now it's our new venture that we're really, really focusing on, but something that we've been in business in 30 years globally, well, worldwide, around 13 countries. So we know what we're doing, and we have a great team to do it and execute it. That's really what the purpose is for us.
Yeah, I love the personal feel of you guys for your own experience. We're like, we need power. Where does it come from? Like, I think this is something that I've talked about on so many podcasts that are related to oil and gas is we get so used to flipping a light switch on and we don't think, oh, how did that happen? Like we
Correct.
just assume power's there, especially when you get into a new build and not everything's hooked up correctly. And so that's interesting. Do you have any personal, I guess, deeper recollections of a time where you really struggled to get a transformer and kind of what that felt like?
Yeah, so we built a huge facility in Waller, and our biggest thing is, we put multi-million dollars into an operation, and all of a sudden we turn around. It's like, when are we going to get the power? And the power company's letting us know, well, it's going to be in a year and a half from now. Like, whoa, wait a minute, that's impossible, right? So those were really the main issues when you're creating and building some of this. Again, power was just an afterthought. It was just part of the process. Now, anyone that's going to design, look to build something, you better get ahead of the power first, because the
Yeah.
worst thing to do is not have power when you have a built out something that big, right? And so we learned our lesson, and our whole job in Zeus is to make sure that we can help customers, make sure they get their timeline, make sure they get the right spec in correctly. And our whole thing is to make that white glove process real simple and be able to not happen what happened to us. So that's really our main goal for Zeus.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point. So I'm curious though, like when you get in this situation, obviously there's a reason that these are hard to get. So just going and deciding, you know what, we're going to solve this problem. I can't imagine that you just got into this business and didn't face any initial challenges of being like, wait, no, this is actually pretty hard to do. Can you tell us about like when you guys first got started and started to look for transformers and sourcing them? What were your initial challenges?
Well, again, as initial challenges is finding the right manufacturers that can really have a high quality product, right? Again, it's
Hmm.
not just finding it, it's make sure it's a high quality product that fits the market, fits our customer needs. So because we have that worldwide presence and we have offices in 13 different countries, we were able to really do our due diligence, work with the right suppliers for this, right manufacturers with the spec. And so we work hand in hand with our customers and our suppliers to make sure that it's a perfect fit for them, and working on timelines, right? Again, it's access is what we bring to the table. And that is right now the number one priority is getting on time, getting a good product, right time and quality. And we have a great team to do all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for some small business owners probably that have only ever operated in the US, that it's probably so foreign to them to even think about looking internationally for a product because they don't have contacts on the other side of the world. I mean, sometimes it's hard to get in contact with someone down the street. I can't imagine if they're in a different time zone, language barriers. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a really good point having your international offices. And I imagine, like you said, before Zeus even existed, you guys had these international locations to source from. Can you kind of tell us how you started growing out so broad?
Well, that's exactly right, right? So for us, international currency issues, legal issues, transportation, all of that we handle. So because we've been doing it so long, you take away all of those things that, if you're building a data center, you're building some manufacturing facility or whatever you're building, and you don't have the time to focus on that. And we bring it all together. So again, it's bringing a solution. We're a solution provider.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, and most of the time, people that always would buy in America, great, we'd love it. We would love to everybody to buy that too. But at the end of the day, it's just not feasible. The demand in the U.S. is so high that you have to outsource other places. And so we just take care of all of that for them. And something we've been doing forever. That's the beauty of this. For us, it's a plug and play. We've been doing it. We know how to do it. We have a great team. We got experts that have been around with me and the whole team for 20 something years. So it's really easy for us to do.
Yeah, Rick, I don't know if you're on the same side of the internet as I am, but there's like this trend on Instagram where it's basically girls that go to the airport with their husband or their boyfriend, and they're like, it's so nice because I could just turn my brain off and he gets us to and from. He knows where our bags are. He has our flights checked in. I just, go along for the ride and I show up and then we're there and I'm on vacation. I feel like that is
Yeah,
what Zeus does for their customers of, you know what, guys, let us take care of all the crazy headache. We're gonna get you what you need. Just trust us, sit back and we will guide you. Is that kind of a good analogy?
I love that analogy. Yeah, I never would have thought about the boyfriend or the girlfriend thing, but yeah, I like the way you think. But absolutely true, right? It's when you were a kid, your parents take you to the airport. You have no idea; it always got done. So exactly, that's what we're trying to do. We're going to give that white glove experience where we just take care of all the issues, right? And we have the technical team, we always have the logistics team, we have on the ground all the legal side of things in all these countries. So that's really the number one thing. You're cutting out all the little potential problems, which at the
Mhm.
end of it, what the customer wants is power now. That's it. So that's what you're looking for. We're exactly the company to do that for you.
Yeah, and I imagine when somebody's in a pinch, they need it fast. They're probably not overly concerned where it comes from, but I know that there are some companies that have preferences, and then amidst that, there's always geopolitical things going on. How do you guys navigate somebody that's like, no, I really only want a transformer from the US? Do people typically hold that ground, or is there wiggle room when you say, hey, but we can get it so much faster abroad?
Yeah, I think we have a gap way that we do some things. Primarily, we do a lease program, so we're actually leasing the power to them. That could be a transformer from several different locations that fits their requirement, and they're leasing it from us, and as they're just waiting to be delivered. So we fill in that gap, so make sure that number one, they have the power. That's the critical part, right? We're going to fill that gap, and if it takes another 6 months or 8 months to get one that is from the country that they prefer from, we'll be more than happy to do that process for them. So that's really the way to get it, and they have power. At the end of the day, you got to turn the lights on. You start generating money. At the period of time, yes, you're never going to own something that you don't want, but you might have an opportunity to just lease one for us, which we will do that for you, and then and have power until you get yours. So it's kind of a great way to do it.
I actually didn't know that you guys did that, which is terrible considering I run your marketing. But Rick, thank you for telling us because that is actually so cool. I've wondered, how businesses stay afloat. I never thought you could lease a transformer. I don't know
Yeah,
why that never came to me. Thank God for you guys because
there you
you're the ones thinking of all these
go.
creative solutions.
Well, I run, to me, the way I sit in, I'm always putting myself in the other CEO shoes and all the other executives and the issues they have. So my whole job is to figure out the solutions and my team to figure out how do we solve their problems, right? So it's just putting yourself in exactly the position that I've been in for 30 years, right? Running my own businesses and running a lot of big organizations now. And so, yeah, it's an easy way to get me out of the hole, give me the right transformers and the right hardware, whatever I'm going to need. Meanwhile, fix my problem temporarily, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, no, it's like a very, very industrial band-aid.
Correct.
But no, it's I was about to ask, what makes Zeus distinguish from its competition. I would say that definitely partially answers that question. But I know another thing that is a point that you guys have is that you're a minority-owned business. Now, there's two sides to the minority owned thing. And I know that it's almost I don't want to say requirement, but something that a lot of larger companies are trying to source from more minority owned suppliers, as
Correct.
well as some other sides. So can you kind of walk us through the importance of being a minority owned supplier?
Look, at the end of the day, we want to be able to help our customer. It goes down to that.
Hmm.
And there's some that have those requirements, and we are definitely the minority owned business. But we're not a small business. So, but a lot of times people have this perception of minority owned. It's a small business. We are not
Hmm.
a small business by no means. And so, I mean, we've done some of the biggest deals in the world in the ESG space. And again, so we are there. Uh, if we can help with that, of course we're going to do that. But the name of the game, yes, we're minority. Yes, we're a very sizable business, and we're going to deliver what we say we're going to deliver. So that's the key message: is we have pretty much everything you need to be in business and power quickly.
Rick, if you were not bald, that was a total hair flip moment. We
I
are
can't help
just
you with
because
it. Yeah,
we're
you can do
minority
it.
owned doesn't
You
mean
can do
we're
it for
small.
me.
No, I actually, I never thought of that bias before, that minority owned, like people do automatically kind of assume that you're a smaller business because I
Correct.
guess the word minority just, correlates with small, but that's an
Correct.
interesting point to you're just you got all the things today, man. Rick is here. He knows what's up, guys. I'm so glad we finally got this together. Uh, Okay, we'll move on to the next portion then. Collaboration and partnerships. Now, no one can do anything alone when it is at this great of a scale. So, can you kind of talk us through your partnerships, your collaboration, and how the industry contacts you all have and partner with, either it be a rep or distributor, has helped Zeus deliver to their customers?
Well, I think you just said it in a simple sentence. To be able to supply and deliver what we do is built out a network of everything. Right? We're partners from the supply side and the equipment side, the hardware side. We have partners from the technical side, the rep side, and we're always working to improve that. Right? So at the end of the day, like you said, it's total collaboration. What we bring to the table is collaboration. So it's not, hey, you're trying to find a certain bolt and it's not really a bolt, right? You have a
Yeah.
motors, you have this, and I'm just talking about transformers. But in general, it takes a big collaboration. So that's what we do. Like that's what we've been
Mhm.
doing our whole lives in business, and we know how to deliver that single solution to the end user, to our customer. So
Yeah.
yeah, it takes a village.
For sure. And Zeus is very forward thinking. You guys are very cutting edge, but not to throw shade at any of my guys in the business, but some of our business can be very archaic in the way that, our partnerships are, the distributor networks. It's very, oh, I call my guy, I know my buddy, but they don't even have websites or LinkedIn's or anything that you would think a modern business would have. How have you guys navigated staying on top of things when maybe not all your partners are as modernized as you are?
For us, it's in our recycling business, what we built. I mean, we started with artificial intelligence before even the word artificial intelligence worked, right? And so we've been always ahead of the game on technology, in how to create innovation. And so that's just something that we always do. We're always going to be in the cutting edge side of things, how to use artificial intelligence, how to use other technologies. My job is vision and strategy. So that's all I do, is think about what else do we need to bring to the table. And you're right, this archaic way of doing things anymore, those days are gone. I think, if you're still continue to do things the old school way of thinking, or the way things that happen, you'll never grow. You'll never be a leader in any space. It's just gone. So the new vision, new strategy, the ability to move fast and be agile in a business is crucial to be successful. And I
Yeah.
don't care what business you're in, if you're not doing it, you're not going to be around long. So for us, it's something that we take pride in.
Amen to that. So, this is more supposed to be a highlight on Zeus and your capabilities. But while you're on that topic, do you have any advice for companies in your space who are trying to modernize a bit, and maybe something just a little nugget of advice?
Well, negative advice would be use us. Okay, work with us, and we'll definitely make sure that you get that pass through strategy. How we're doing it. No, again, I'm kidding on that end, but really is how do you utilize? To me, the key in low easy fruit is, if you're not utilizing somehow, some way in your departments for artificial intelligence, and utilizing data to analyze. So if you're not really utilizing analytics, but I'm not talking barbaric, it's old school analytics is truly transforming your data to give you the answers to the tests. And if you can do that, the speed that you can go to market, the speed you can make decisions on purchasing and procurement issues that in huge companies takes so long to do. And that really creates all these issues at the back end. It's like, okay, if we took so long to make decisions, well, we could have saved 6 or 8 months on this. So again, it's a lot of the way you think to create that value, and it's
Mhm.
utilizing data quicker and faster to make faster decisions. That's the key.
Yeah, and AI is fantastic for that. And if you don't know how to use AI, always go into ChatGPT and say, "How do I do it?" And it will tell you. It's
It's
actually pretty
unbelievable.
great. Well,
Correct.
now
The best
let's
$19 you'll ever spend.
no, honestly, I have the
Yeah.
subscription for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm curious now, and I know this topic has been beaten to death, but this is literally why your business exists. Supply chain. It is a little messy, it is a little crazy, but there is this gap that you guys have filled because of the disruptions of the global supply chain. So, how are you guys, while everybody else is struggling, finding ways to reliably deliver things like transformers on time to your clients?
Well, exactly that craziness in the supply chain is the opportunity as well, right? So if you look at how did you create that opportunity to make it a solution for somebody else, and really again, it goes back to our international presence. We're there. We have people on the ground. They speak the language. They know how the local culture works. They understand the processes. They understand how this all works. If you pick up a phone and call, you know, any country and just say, "Hey, I'm from America, and here's what I need," well, first, do you speak the language? And that's as simple as that. But just the way business are done are completely different. And if you don't
Mhm.
understand it and you won't get there, you just they don't go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
We have people on the ground, on boots on the ground. They are visiting, making sure things are happening when they're building them. Everything is there. So we're we're very hands on, and we just have the opportunity because we can. That's the reason why.
No, absolutely. And the language barrier is such a good point. Now, fun question. If you say you only speak English, but you need to learn one more language that can get you as far as possible throughout the world of navigating the supply chain, what is the second language you would learn?
Well, my last name's Perez. Of course, Spanish. Come on. No, Spanish is the second biggest language, right? And then obviously Chinese will be three.
Hmm.
But I think three might be a problem these days. So I think you're really well covered with covering the second language. Spanish would be my choice.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Just
Yeah,
thought I would
keep
ask. It
it
felt like
simple.
it was pretty obvious, but maybe there was some sort of secret language that the Transformer people speak, and I just
We
had to
do have a
find
secret
out.
language. We can't tell that to everybody.
Okay, fair enough, guys. You'll have to stay subscribed for a while to know. Um, okay, Rick, we're gonna wrap it up with one last question, which I think it's one question. Sometimes I get into a tangent of others, but looking forward to the future because clearly you always are. Where do you see Zeus Power Supplies going in the near future, and then maybe the next 5 years? Where are we evolving towards?
Well, I mean, again, it goes back to me for us in the future is we want to add the financing piece of it. Because a lot of times when you talk about transformers and hardware and the whole package you need, it's very expensive. So, do you really need to put the money into getting the power, or do you want to put your capital to grow your business itself? And
Mhm.
so I think we can be a great partner as a finance partner of your whole project. So then you can actually use those dollars to continue to grow your core business, which that's what makes you money. It's not the sourcing of the power, right? And so that's the evolution that we're going to go for, and we're working on it now in some projects now. So I think it's going to be a good fit for capital, right use of capital.
Is it kind of like when you go to buy a house, instead of putting, 20, 50% down, you save a little back and then you finance the rest? And that's kind of like the idea is maybe you can go buy a new couch or you can fill out your house or,
There you go.
build the deck that you want. Just you guys are trying to give them more flexibility with these other options.
Well, the easy way to think about it, and that, if you're looking at a house, is it already comes with a mortgage. So when you buy the house, you already have the mortgage with it. You already know what you're going to be paying, and then that way you do have the money to focus on your furniture and the things that you need to focus on to continue to make that home even more beautiful and gorgeous. And right in this case is to make more money and make your business more profitable. That's what we're trying to do.
Amen to that, because businesses seem to be expensive. So
Oh yeah,
glad they'll have capital to go elsewhere and do other things. But
correct.
Rick, this has been so much fun. I wanted to keep it, right around 20 minutes so you guys could stay engaged as we talked about these fun things. But Rick, anything else you want to leave the listeners with before we go?
No, we're just happy to be here. And hopefully, we can fix some of your solution issues that you're having in the power needs, and I look forward to many more years of partnerships and building lasting relationships. I love business. I've been doing it forever, and I just could love to continue to develop this partnerships that we're trying to look for. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you want to learn more, go to www.zeustx.com, or you can email them at info@zeustx.com. And yeah, go get yourself a transformer and keep your power on. See you guys next time.